Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
And hello everybody, it's your boy Doody back again. And yes, I know that my camera is on and I am properly dressed and not doing any shameful acts that would embarrass myself, my family, and my fans. So you guys don't have to worry about that. So I'm back with another video. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance, but I posted a bunch of videos yesterday, about 10. I apologize if I went a little crazy, but on Memorial Day, our boy DSP had a lot to say, and there were a lot of videos that I wanted to publish, you know, just exposing the rat of a man that is DSP. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is the fact that our boy DSP confirmed that he does watch detractor videos. And he also spends a lot of his free time on Reddit. And that's probably why Kat's upset if she's still in the picture and still around. Our boy DSP is just too busy, too busy to actually spend time to fix his OBS issues. Too busy to actually think up original ideas for his content. Too busy to, look for a real job and stop begging for money. But of course, he's not busy enough to create beg videos asking his viewers and fans to give him money, especially tips, especially for his day off. So being that our boy DSP is off today, I decided to just go back and look at a couple videos and a couple of events that have happened in the last few days. And I want to dig a little deeper into our boy 1 Minute Man, since Phil's decided that he wanted to address the speculation that we have out there about 1 Minute Man. So I have a quick video that I want to play. So it's essentially about 5 minutes. It's our boy DSP here, essentially confirming that he watches detractor videos, and then he starts rambling off about 1 Minute Man. So let's watch it. I'll pause it a few times. I may skip a little bit and just add my commentary. So let's get into it.
Blink twice if you need rescuing. So there you go. There's the troll message. Obviously, you've been my captive since February, right? What I did is I had a lasso and I threw it across the United States. And I lassoed her. And I slowly pulled her across the contiguous United States until she arrived in Washington. And she's been tied up in my house since then. Obviously, she's not actually a willing, resident here.
Look at that, folks. She blinked twice. She blinked twice. Our girl Cat needs some help. All right.
At all right now, in regards to me, dramatic-wise, right? There's nothing. In fact, games are dead. Everything's dead. Kind of a slow time. So what do the trolls do when they're bored? Let's make up the new conspiracy theory. So their conspiracy theory is 1 Minute Man doesn't exist. He's a phantom. He's a ghost, a ghoulie. Or maybe he's an alternate personality that I invented in my head. So every day here, when I say, oh, 1 Minute Man contributed, it's a lie. I'm making it up, all right? First of all, if I were making it up, the only person I'm hurting is myself. I'm faking contributions.
Okay, so let me stop it here. So the first thing here is that no one made a video stating that DSP is faking, lying, all the crap that he said. No one created that video. What we did post, I posted, was a video of him being swarmy and just being weird when someone asked him about 1 Minute Man. And I talk about how that kind of confirmed it for me, that 1 Minute Man is actually DSP. There is no 1 Minute Man. So what I want to clearly state here is my view on the issue about 1 Minute Man is that Phil is 1 Minute Man, that it's actually him. It's not some dude that is a supporter of DSP and never comes on stream, never chats, is completely a phantom. The only time we do see him are around specific situations, and I'll get into that. I never said or posted, I don't think anyone said that Phil is tipping himself, actually tipping himself. No, what I've said is that Phil is fake tipping himself. So essentially, during the break, what he does is when he comes back, anytime he hasn't hit the tier 1 tip goal. Now, this is crucial. Every single time he hasn't hit the tier 1 tip goal, he comes back from the first. If he doesn't hit the tier 1 tip goal before his first break, he comes back after the break and he claims that 1 Minute Man tipped him $25 or $30 or whatever the amount is to get him to that $50. And I'm going to show some proof of that. And that's my claim. My claim is that whenever Phil doesn't hit his $50 tip goal by his first break, he comes back from break and lies and essentially says that this phantom 1 Minute Man actually tipped him and got him to the $50 tip goal. Now you might ask, why would he do that? You know, why would he claim that why would he falsely tip himself? Essentially, isn't that, you know, it doesn't make much sense. No, it actually makes a lot of sense. So if any of you guys have ever bartended or ever had a gig job where you kind of depend on tips, where you're kind of stationary, and mainly like I'm going to talk about as a bartender, is every single bartender that's actually bartended does something called priming the tip jar. So what that is they put a couple bucks in there before their shift to it's for a couple of reasons. One, it's a visual clue to the patrons to basically say, hey, the expectation in this facility is that you should tip. And hey, look, people have already tipped. It's a visual clue. It's also a visual clue of the amount. So when it comes to bartending, or maybe if you're a piano person, you know, like you're at a piano lodge, the expectation is you shouldn't be dropping change. You should be dropping dollar bills. So it's called priming the tip jar. And that's essentially what Phil is doing. He's giving the illusion of, hey, look at these people. They love my content so much that they're tipping, and they want to make sure that I'm doing well and that I'm thriving. So hey, you should join in the hype and the activity and the fun. He did the same exact thing with gifted memberships, and you can see where once gifted memberships became live, a bunch of his viewers jumped on the bandwagon and started giving him gift memberships, and that's the reason why he hit that 100 or so within a day or two. It creates FOMO. It creates that illusion that, hey, this is a fun time, this is a great place to be, look at people giving money, hey, you should give money too. And that's the reason why he primes the tip jar with this fake tip. The second reason why he does it is our boy DSP has a fragile ego. And yeah, he loves the money, and he needs the money to pay his bills, and he's a bit of a greedy, you know, SOB. We all know that. But another piece of it is that Phil has a fragile ego. And it's the simple fact that people won't pay him for his content bothers him. He has this illusion of himself that he's one of the top tier streamers, which he isn't. He has this delusion that his content is so good and nobody does it like him, which is not true. And you know, he expects to be tipped, and he expects to be given super chats, and he expects to have memberships, and he expects gifted memberships. He expects all that, and when he doesn't get it, it bothers him. So what he's done is he's created this phantom tipper named 1 Minute Man to essentially prime the tip jar. Now you might say, well, hasn't 1 Minute Man tipped on other occasions? Like, hasn't he tipped during you know, when it wasn't the break, or just, you know, when Phil has been doing really good with tips? No. And what I use to say that, well, I mean, my proof of that is, if you ever follow Piece of Peace, he has this, he has the tip tracker. Essentially, it's this Google spreadsheet that he manages where he documents every single tip, super chat, patron. Anytime someone gives Phil money, our boy Piece of Peace tracks it, and he does an amazing job. If you guys have a second, go to his channel. He posts a link to the tip tracker in all of his videos. Give him a, you know, and I'm pretty sure you guys, if you watch my video, you guys already follow him, but you know, give him a sub, give him a like, take out his chip. He does amazing work. So what I did was I went to Piece of Pieces tip tracker, which is right here, right? And I wanted to see and track what our boy 1 Minute Man has been doing all this time. So, of course, you got a whole bunch of different tabs that our boy Piece of Piece keeps. I mean, you can pretty much track everything. So here's the dashboard, tip analysis, tip trends, Patreon, pretty much everything here. So what I ended up doing was I ended up looking at the tips from April of 2021 to now, right? And what I did was I just copied the information specific to 1 Minute Man. And here it is right here on the screen. So you can see starting on April 2021 right here, right? You see our boy 1 Minute Man tip, right? And what you're going to constantly see is this BTS right here, right? You're going to see this, what's called BTS. You're going to either see BTS or blank. And I'm assuming it's because Piece of Piece didn't have a time to put it in. But that's all you're going to see. And essentially what that BTS stands for is break. Phil's break. And as you can see here, our boy 1 Minute Man, who also goes by a couple other names, but it's been consistent pretty much for 1 year. It's been 1 Minute Man. He does all of these tips. And as you can see, it's not consistent. It's sporadic. Sometimes it's several days within a week. Sometimes there's a gap when he provides a tip. But if you look at the tip date and you go back and look at where Phil was for tips on that specific stream in that day, every single instance, Phil did not hit the tier 1 tip goal of $50 before his first break. And magically, 1 Minute Man came in to save the day and tipped Phil. And it typically is anywhere between, he usually tips $25, but if he needs more or less, he usually does. Like right here, for example, our boy 1 Minute Man came in and gave $37. In this specific given a stream of Returnal, Phil was at $13 right at his first break. And I just find it so curious that 1 Minute Man tipped exactly $37 to get our boy Phil to his tier 1 tip goal. And you just see that sporadically over and over. Now there was one time, and I'm not gonna watch one. He gave $100 here, and I can't remember specifically why he gave $100. It was for a Fallout playthrough, Fallout New York. I'll have to go back and dig into that. But again, for the most part, it's pretty consistent. So if you go at the time that he tipped, and you look at the actual stream, Phil was under that tier 1 tip goal, and it's pretty consistent. So that raises alarm bells to me, like, hey, something fishy is going on here. And the main fact too, the big thing is that 1 Minute Man has never chatted. He's never been on the chat. He has never commented. He has never given a super chat. He has never given gifted memberships. He has never done any of that. He essentially always tips behind the scenes. And the other fishy thing is that he always tips, but it never plays an animation. And that's curious because I know that Snow Carl tipped the other day, and an animation popped up, and it was the same type of tip. It was through PayPal, and that gave a pop-up. But for some odd reason, 1 Minute Man, a pop-up never occurs for that. And to me, that tells me that it's fake. It's a fake tip. It's not an actual tip. It's just him. It's just Phil priming the tip jar and saying, hey, look, 1 Minute Man got us to, our tier 1 tip goal or whatever. The other thing that had me curious is that, I wanted to see the amount of tips that our boy 1 Minute Man has given Phil. So if you go here, right here, okay. All right, 1 Minute Man right here. Okay, if you look at the tip analysis, it's the Pay Pig Wall of Shame. And this starts back on April 22nd of 2021 to current. As you can see, our boy, well, it's actually from April 22nd through 5/29. So it didn't include his weekend tips, which pushed him a little higher. So as you can see, our boy here has given Wings, has given DSP $6,116 in tips. That's what he's given to him. A man that he has no clue who he is. He has no interaction, quote unquote, with this person, has given him over $6,000 in tips in a little over a year. That doesn't sound accurate. It doesn't sound feasible. It sounds made up. And the other thing that Phil's been doing is he's been crying poor mouth. And of course, we always say, well, wait a minute, you get all these tips. You're constantly hitting at least a tier 1 tip goal. Why are you so broke? And of course, Phil never addresses it. I mean, he'll give us the occasional, he has a lot of bills, or he'll say something's going on behind the scenes that I can't talk about. And that's the reason why he doesn't have any money. I think the reason why he doesn't have any money is because that $6,000 is fake. It's not there. So if you subtract that money from his tip, from his tip amount, so if you subtract that from his $25,000 grand total, for just these 14 or so pay pigs right here, just for these 14, we're not counting everyone else. That would knock him down to about under $19,000. So that would explain why our boy Phil is constantly screaming about not having enough tips. And that's because the 1 Minute Man tips are fake. It's Occam's razor. That's essentially what it is, Occam's razor, where the simplest solution is typically the right solution, is the correct solution. And it's telling me that Phil is lying, and that 1 Minute Man is actually himself and not actually tipping. So I'd recommend you guys, if you guys get a chance, go check it out. You guys can see all this information. You don't have to take my word for it. It's clear as day right here that I'm showing you guys in the spreadsheet. You find a lot of information out there too. You can kind of see where there are other people that tip that seem very odd as well, and it's a great tool for keeping Phil accountable with his many lies. All right, so I just wanted to show that real quick. So I'm going back to the video. Let's see here. Give me a second. All right, let's play this a little bit more, and then I'll chit-chat about it some more. So,
for what purpose exactly? Right? Like, how dumb does that sound? I'm faking contributions, right? What are you, stupid? Okay, how do you even? I don't even know how you get past that first question of why would Phil fake contributions on his own stream? How does that?
I already explained that you're priming the tip jar, you're creating FOMO, and you're basically trying to encourage other people in your chat to tip, because it makes it seem like your content is so interesting that people are willing to give you money. And hey, look at this guy, 1 Minute Man, he donated money. So that's why you're doing it.
It doesn't even make sense what you're saying. It doesn't. All right, it just doesn't make sense. Now, the thing is, I guess where this weird conspiracy theory came up from is that 1 Minute Man always tips daily behind the scenes, meaning there's no pop-up on stream when he tips. And I've already explained how this happened. He did used to tip publicly on the streams. If you go...
No, he didn't. I went back and checked and couldn't find it every single time, except for that one instance where it was $100 and I couldn't identify whether it was between the breaks or not. Every single time, it's between breaks, and it's usually not. No, actually, let me restate that. It's between his break, and it's only when he hasn't hit the tier 1 tip goal. If he hits, like for example, yesterday during his stream, for his first stream, he hit the tier 1 tip goal. He hit that pretty quickly. He actually, I think, hit the tier 3 tip goal. So the one thing you don't notice is that 1 Minute Man didn't tip. He didn't tip yesterday. Why? Because he had already hit the tier 1 tip goal before the first break. So Phil didn't need to come out and say, oh, 1 Minute Man tip. And the other reason why he probably didn't do a 1 Minute Man tip was because he knows that we're on to him. So what you may see is 1 Minute Man not tipping as much lately, to kind of get the heat off of Phil here. So let's keep going. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, so pretty much you guys have seen the video. It's him just essentially just talking about how stupid we are and how it makes no sense, and him throwing out straw men, and him trying to use the most extreme scenario, which nobody said. I clearly pointed out why I believe that he is 1 Minute Man. It had nothing to do with him actually giving himself tips. None of that. I actually just clearly stated my argument, the reason for it. So, you know, it makes sense to me. I don't know why it doesn't make sense to him, but we all know that he does it to kind of cause confusion, and he's the king of straw men. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show another video real quick that I had posted, where it was the Pac-Man stream. It was the actual Pac-Man stream, where he kind of freaks out. He gets so weirded out over let's see here, when was it? Gotta go to my content. Hold on, your channel videos. Which one was it? And again, I posted so many videos, so I apologize. All trash, endanger his day off. My channel support. Proof Phil. Oh, here it is. Proof Phil is actual 1 Minute Man. So let's watch this video. It's a quick
Did
video.
you know that people shop across Google more than a billion times a day? In fact,
Hello, everybody. It's my day off, and you know, this is the funds that I use when I have my day off to do stuff. So it would be great if we could have an increase there. In fact, Ponage 101 just tipped me $5 off, and this is the funds that I use when I have my day off.
I think 1 Minute Man did tip here. This was the last time 1 Minute Man tipped.
Contributing. It seems to be like a running pattern from 1 Minute Man during the Sonic hat. Okay. Tips. We're at $20 in tips now during the break. Indeed, I did receive a $25 tip from 1 Minute Man. So thank you very much to 1 Minute Man. Let's add that. But yeah, tips have been slow again. It seems to be like a running pattern, doesn't it?
Okay, as you can see, he didn't hit his tier 1 tip goal before his first break, and all of a sudden 1 Minute Man came and dropped a $25 tip. All right, so now I'm gonna go to the clip where someone had mentioned 1 Minute Man and said, oh, I challenged him to a tip war, and his reaction was just classic. It was chef kiss. Let's get into that real quick.
Really, I don't have much else to talk about. If you take a look at this right here, you're gonna see it's not very good. We went down again in members. Again, there's nothing I can do to really make you guys. Hello, everybody. For chilling, 45 minutes left on the stream. Again, any last minute contributions here? Uncharted 2 at 6. I have to bounce on the pizza myself. Screw it. My best score ever. 50 Tibby says, let's hit some goals. I challenge 1 Minute Man to a tip war. I'm pretty sure 1 Minute Man doesn't stick around the streams. I think he comes by like once or twice a day and probably watches and enjoys behind the scenes. But if you haven't noticed, 1 Minute Man has never been in the chat. So I don't think 1 Minute Man is around. I think maybe he comes by and he's like, oh, okay, I'm enjoying the stream. You know what he might be? I've always had theories. I actually think 1 Minute Man might be someone who watches while he does other stuff. Like maybe, they're at work or something, and so they have me on in the background as they're working.
This was Saturday. Who works on Saturday?
Right? And so, once a day I'll come and support, and then that's it. Then they just go back to listening again. I've always, again, I know nothing about the person, but that's always been kind of my guess, because I don't know the person.
So, telltale signs. He can't look at the camera. He nods his head no, which is, if you've ever followed specific, there's a whole psychology around signs that you could tell someone's lying. And one of the key things is that your brain involuntarily, if you're telling a lie and you're talking, your brain will actually tell your head to either shake no or yes, the opposite of what you're saying. So if you say yes, that happened, right? Like for an example, someone asks you a question, you say yes, that did happen, but it's not true. No, it didn't happen. Your head will shake no, and he clearly does that. The other thing too is he starts stumbling and starts acting he gets all weirded out about, you know, the whole I don't know who he is. I have no clue who he is. No one asked you any of that, pimp. And the whole argument over, I have these theories of 1 Minute Man and how, I think he works and he doesn't have time to be on chat. And he, stops by from time to time and drops a tip and then goes back to work. It's so convenient that he always stops by during your first break when you don't hit your tier 1 tip goal. He listens sporadically, or he has it as background noise. But he has this sixth sense, or he's so in tune to you, Phil, that he knows when you need help. It's a spider sense triggering when he knows that you haven't hit your tip goal, your tier 1 tip goal before your first break, and he comes in to save the day and drops a tip. I call bullshit. Complete, utter bullshit, Phil. And you're lying. Now, okay, maybe there is a possibility that you're not 1 Minute Man. Maybe. I highly doubt it. I think it's you. But something seriously is going on there. It's either Kat, your mom, maybe you taught Jasper how to get on the internet and drop a fake tip. But, it makes no sense whatsoever, Phil. And if it makes no sense, it's a lie. So let's finish watching the rest of this video and him squirm.
So I mean, fun that you challenged him to a tip war. I don't think he's gonna have it. I'm pretty sure he's probably not here. So I wouldn't feel bad if he doesn't accept your challenge. I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with him not supporting the streams or anything. It's just that he's probably not here.
That's another thing that he does, is he mumbles. When he starts lying, he gets really quiet and his voice gets really low. He doesn't stare at the camera and he starts mumbling. And you could barely make out what the hell he's saying. And how the hell does he know that 1 Minute Man just won't pop in and do a tip war? He loves your content so much, he supports you so much, why wouldn't he accept the tip war? But you're so sure of it. And the reason why you're so sure of it, Phil, is because you're 1 Minute Man. It's clear as day, pimp.
Humma, 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 humma.
Alright, well that's it. I just wanted to post this video. I'm actually going to be creating another video focusing on another issue that Phil spilled the beans on. So that'll be coming up next. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you disagree with me, post in the comments. Let me know if you don't think he's 1 Minute Man. And if you don't think he is 1 Minute Man, who do you think he is? Or what do you think's happening? What do you think is happening behind the scenes here? Because when you smell smoke, there's a fire. There's a fire. So let me know. I like to hear your thoughts. If you like my longer commentary style, please let me know in the comments. I enjoy doing them. I know they get a little lengthy, and I know I ramble a little bit from time to time, so I apologize for that. So jump in the chat, let me know. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace out.